Cafe with me, Ankita Saxena, and with me is Kanishka Sarkar. Good morning to everyone. Well, in the next 1 hour, we'll take you through how the global markets have shaped up and what are the cues to watch out for in today's trading session. But first up, let's see how the Wall Street fared. Kanishka, at this juncture, it is not really the earnings, but perhaps the optimism on the trade deals that is really aiding the US market.
That's absolutely right, Ankita. Very good morning to you, first of all. Now, in fact, S&P 500, that has, notched another record close yesterday. This, as you said, is fueled by hopes for progress on trade deals with the, several nations. Now, the S&P 500, as I said, it added 0.7% to hit its 12th record close of the year. Dow Jones Industrial Average, that also gained over 1%, that is more than 500 points, and it was just about 4 points away from a new record close. On the other hand, we have nasdaq. That also rose more than 0.5% and settled above the 21,000 level for the first time ever. In fact, stocks were boosted by more bullish developments on the trade front this week. Now, remember, Trump has said that his administration has reached a massive deal with Japan, which includes 50% reciprocal tariffs on goods from the nation, and we are hearing similar talks going on with the EU at this point. Meanwhile, Magnificent 7 mega cap stocks, that is Alphabet and Tesla, they reported their earnings after yesterday's bell. Now, Alphabet, that rose 2% after posting the second quarter earnings and revenue beat, while Tesla, that was down about 4% in a volatile trading after investors were disappointed by a drop in auto revenue for the second straight quarter. On the other hand, IBM shares, they too slipped about 5%, weighing on Dow futures after the company's second quarter software revenue missed expectations. And later today, now Dow, Honeywell, American Airlines and Union Pacific are some of the earnings that we are going to be watching out for. So that's how largely the street is looking. It's also watching out for weekly jobless claims data, the latest reading on July's purchasing managers index data, and June's new home sales data that we'll watch out for later in the week. But that's how the US market setup is looking like right now. Ankita.
All right, moving on then from the US markets, let's take a stock of how the crude is also, faring. If I look at the crude, the oil prices has fallen for the fourth consecutive session. As investors are assessing the trade developments, including the US tariff deal with Japan ahead of, US stocks data announcement that's going to come in. But Brent crude futures have fallen almost 8 cents to close around $68.51 a barrel. The WTI crude futures lost 6 odd cents to settle in at $65.25 per barrel. Both the benchmarks lost about 1% in the previous session after European Union said it was considering countermeasures against US tariffs. Now, investors are awaiting the US oil inventory data from the Energy Information Administration. And in another bullish sign for crude market, the US Energy Secretary had said on Tuesday that the US would consider sanctioning Russian oil to end the war in Ukraine. And the European Union had also mentioned that they had agreed its 18th sanction package against Russia, lowering the price cap for Russian crude. So it's a wait and watch how the crude really pans in, but it has moderated considerably, for the fourth consecutive session. Brent crude has settled in at Brent crude is settled at almost $68.7 odd dollars a barrel, and WTI sitting at $65.46 a barrel as of now.
All right, so that's the level we're